Following on from the success of Tools of Destruction and its cliffhanger ending, Insomniac decided to create a mini-adventure to tide fans over until the release of the true sequel, A Crack in Time. Unfortunately, mini is exactly the word to describe this particular title. After Clank was taken by the mysterious Zoni at the end of the previous game, Ratchet and his ally Tolwyn have begun looking for him, with their only lead being a pirate called Captain Darkwater. Unfortunately, he's dead. Fortunately, being a robot pirate, they may still be able to get the answers they need, if they can find him. The plot this time round is much more straightforward, which is fitting given the much shorter time it has with it to tell its story. There are one or two twists, but this is still a fairly simple tale, and in between two much more complex games, it's a welcome breather. Gameplay-wise, the adventure focuses more on platforming than combat, which is another welcome change. That's not to say there's no combat at all, but there's a significant stretch where you lose your weapons and can only use your wrench, previously used only for melee combat and the occasional bolt crank, to also move platforms and carry hazardous materials like a combustible ball of magma. These new abilities work quite well, and in many ways are a callback to the early days of the franchise where combat wasn't always the main thrust of the game. That said, it is quite a nice feeling to eventually get your weapons back. It's just a shame every single one of them is a holdover from Tools of Destruction, downgraded back to level 3, seemingly so you can enjoy leveling them back up to level 5. Not that there's any real incentive to do so, the damage increases are negligible and it's just a thing you can do now. Or rather, a thing you can do again, since you'll no doubt have leveled most of them up in the previous game, thus giving you even less incentive to do so this time around. Another aspect of frustration is that around half the game takes place in dark caves. Dark as in, so dark you need a torch to see anything dark. Not only does this mean you can't see the no doubt beautiful levels, but it also means you'll inevitably end up falling to your death more than once, simply because you couldn't see where you were going. There are other irritations as well, mostly to do with what's been removed. The lack of special features like skill points, challenge mode, or new skins is disappointing, as is the inability to assign which slot your weapons take on the weapons wheel. And there's also the issues I had with Tools of Destruction, such as a lack of in-game subtitles. Ultimately though, this is a 3 to 4 hour long game designed mostly as a trailer for A Crack in Time, and if taken on those merits, then it's a fun little romp, but little else. It's worth playing if you're a fan of the franchise, otherwise you can probably skip it and not lose too much.